Friend, welcome back. You're here wanting to build a habit of productivity, and I hear that. I also hear what's underneath it. The quiet hum of urgency, the sense that if you don't lock this down, something about you remains unfinished, incomplete. Let me tell you something that might feel strange at first. This feeling you're carrying, this drive to prove yourself through output, this fear that rest equals failure, it's not yours alone. It's been here for thousands of years. Long before you were born, humans were tying their worth to their work. Farmers measured themselves by harvest, builders by structures, scholars by pages. The metric changes, but the pattern remains. We believe deep in our bones that we earn our place here by what we produce. And when we pause, when we rest, when we scroll instead of sprint, we feel the verdict land: lazy, unworthy, failing. Friend, I want you to see this clearly. That verdict isn't personal. It's systemic. It's the code running in the background of the human operating system, and it's been running since we first learned to measure time. Here's what happens when you try to build productivity from that place. You might succeed for a while. You might string together days, even weeks of perfect execution. Checkboxes filled. Tasks crushed. Dopamine hits delivered. But underneath, there's a tremor, because the productivity isn't coming from wholeness. It's coming from fear. Fear that if you stop, you'll be exposed. That the laziness you've been outrunning will catch up and prove what you've always suspected. You're not enough. So you push. And when you inevitably stumble, when life intervenes or energy dips or you simply need to breathe, the whole structure collapses. And you're back here, feeling like you've failed again. But what if the problem isn't your discipline? What if the problem is the premise? You're trying to build a habit on top of a wound. The wound says your worth is conditional. Earn it. Prove it. Produce it. And no amount of productivity hacks or morning routines will heal that wound, friend, because the wound isn't about time management. It's about existence management. It's about whether you're allowed to be here, taking up space, breathing air, without a receipt to show for it. Let me be very clear. You were allowed before the first task. You'll be allowed after the last. Your worth was never up for debate. Now, I'm not saying productivity doesn't matter. It does. There's dignity in work. There's satisfaction in building, creating, contributing. But sustainable productivity, the kind that doesn't burn you out or collapse under pressure, doesn't come from fear. It comes from sufficiency. It comes from knowing, at the cellular level, that you are enough right now. Not after the to-do list is cleared. Not after you've proven yourself. Now, in this moment, with nothing to show. When you build from that place, productivity becomes an expression, not a defense. You work because you're alive and engaged, not because you're terrified of being seen as lazy. So here's the counterintuitive truth, friend. The habit you're trying to build, it won't stick until you stop needing it to prove your worth. The most productive people aren't the ones white-knuckling their way through endless output. They're the ones who've made peace with rest, who've integrated the pause, who've stopped treating downtime as a moral failure and started seeing it as the ground from which real work grows. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation. You can't build a sustainable habit on top of self-rejection. You can only build it on top of self-acceptance. Friend, I want you to try something. Not as a task, but as an experiment. Before you optimize your schedule or download another app or set another alarm, I want you to sit with this question. What if I'm already enough? Not in some distant future where I've finally gotten my act together, but now. Messy, inconsistent, human now. What if the productivity I'm seeking isn't the price of my existence, but the natural overflow of a life that knows it's already whole? Sit with that. Let it be uncomfortable if it needs to be. And then, friend, build your habit from there. Not from fear. From sufficiency. I'll be here when you need me.